Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Lights Only Racing. It's season 29, the penultimate race of the season, race 12 here at Spa. And I don't mean the shop that's in shit villages where everybody's got six fingers, wears their mum's knickers, and you can always catch somebody shagging a loaf of bread. It's Spa-Francorchamps, and it's raining, it's dripping, and Terry's Reds predicted it. It was dry in Div 1, it's raining in Div 2 in qualifying, and it's not surprising. Spa's known for its temperamental weather, with the track being so massive, and its location right in the middle of the forest, that we're bound to see some sort of wet weather. It's dry, it's wetter than Rolf Harris on the teacup ride in Disneyland. And there's one or two drivers coming out on the wets. Is it wets or inters? We shall see during the qualifying session. And we've just had the Div 1 race preceding this one. And I've got to announce a big congratulations to AMS Callum. And with Amadi missing next week, it's been announced Callum takes the Div 1 title and the Platinum Division title. And it's been a fantastic battle between those at the top throughout the season, and Callum has proved that not only driving skill matters, but consistency too. So big shout out to the McLaren driver, the admin member, who's always there to help, and takes his first Lights Out League racing title. And we'll go into next season with everybody looking to chase him. And we'll touch on that going into next week's race as we do the championship announcements. So yeah, big congratulations to Callum. And we focus on the Div 2 boys here at Spa-Francorchamps, where it's going to be tricky for those that have not really done any practice in the wet. Those that are really good Terry Reds lovers. Says Terry's so good in the wet. That's because Terry always wets himself with glee. And we'll watch with glee. The same as the Claymeister. Oi, oi, oi. We'll jump on with the Haas of Katamies as he navigates his first hot lap of qualifying round the source. U-shaped hairpin, slowest corner on the track, named after the various water sources around. Callum says it's wet as we go downhill and climb up the 35-metre elevation of Eau Rouge. Very tricky in these conditions. Out of Radion, which translates to small, steep road. Who would have thought? Down the Camel Straight, cars reach the high speed of the track round Lacooms. Very tricky, very technical part of the track, where it's very tricky on the curves, even in the dry, round Malmedy. And now we start the descent of Sector 2 down to Brussels, where it curves right. Seems never ending this corner, and we've seen cars go side by side on many a time round No Named or Speaker Corner, where you only get a decent view in the speaker box. Down the left-hander of Pouillon, where you'd take this flat out. Very tricky again in these conditions. You can see Katamies is fighting the car in these conditions. There's one or two doing laps on Inter, so it'll be interesting to see how they navigate this. That Red Bull needs to get away. It does just in time. This car's fighting, very tricky as he comes round to the end of Sector 2. Out of Stavlo, and now we approach Blanchimont. I've just been reminded that Benja in the Ferrari's got a quali ban, so he needs to come out, and he's actually retires. Could have done, hopefully, his setups assigned in the car. Approaches the end of lap here for Katamies to the bus stop chicane, where it's one of the most important corners on the track, where time is essentially going to end the lap fast, but also strong, so it sets up the next. And Katami 2 minutes flat for his lap on the wets. Josh on the Inters matches his time, about 4 tenths off Katami, so it looks like Inters is probably the tyre to go on. 2 minutes 1 for Kessler in the Red Bull, as we watch Magel in the lone qualifying Ferrari. 2 minutes 2 for him. Now the Sauber boys are the ones to watch as Wesker 158.9 on the Inters. Inters is definitely the tyre. Gunnar reserving in the Haas for Sygate up to P6, 2 minutes 5. Big John in the Williams matches his time but gets jumped by his teammate Terry's, where he's wed. I was turning to one from Was. P5 for him. The Kieser alongside Briddy in the Alpine, Frenchman back this week. Only managing P8, Dustarino reserving debut in the Visa car, P11, 2 minutes 4 for him. Project Ty in the Alpine back with us this week. Both Alpines back, and only managing P9. Benedict, saw him in the Div 1 race, only managing P5. Benji Boy joining Wesker on the front row, only 2 into sub 2 minutes. Josh in the Mercedes, currently pole in the Challenger Championship, P4 on the second row alongside Katamis. Not always where you want to be. Now it'll be interesting to see how drivers have fueled their car up. Are they going to look to do more than one lap? As we see Danny back with us in Lights Out Lee Racing. Josh jumps back up to P, ahead of his teammate P2, so he's done more than one lap. Danny alongside his teammate P7. Back with us in his season debut. His fastest lap here for Lennon on the Inters. Yet to set a lap. So I think, let's keep an eye on Chesbowl then. Challenging for the Challenger Championship. That's a mouthful with Josh. And looking strong in the Kick Saubers. Looking for that Constructors' Championship. Arsenal 2-0 away to Club Bruges. Benfica 2-0 at home to Napoli. Goes deep at the bus stop here. Chesbowl. Kessler improves up to P6. Chesbowl, provisional pole, 158.3. Is that Kieser behind him? So he's P11. Be interesting to see how these Aston Martins fare. Rel's got himself the win and very strong last week in Brazil. Can he emulate that this week in the wet? Goes P5, so he does. Slots behind the Mercedes drivers. Harry Hale, P14, back with us after missing last week. Lennon, the only one to set a time now. P2, 158.5, 2/10 off. Chesbowl splits the Saubers. It'll be interesting to see. Big John, straight into the pits for him. We've got Benedict straight into the pits as well, so refueling. We've got a Mercedes next of Josh, down 2 seconds, so he's going for another hot lap. Red Bull next across the line, I think it's Kessler. He's made up 2 seconds by the look of it. This could be massive from Kessler. It is up to P5, just behind Josh, 59.3. His teammate for today, Danny, coming round straight into the pits. Has only done enough for one hot lap. Wesker now, he's found 2 seconds. This could be a massive time for the Austrian. He is 56.8. Now this track is heating up as the cars are just brushing some water off the track. The goon of the gooner stays P10. 1-0 for Newcastle, equalised away to Bayer Leverkusen. As next we've got McLaren. It's Kieser, sorry, slots behind Kessler, P6 for the McLaren. They'll be happy with that. As Briddy in the Alpine probably needs to jump onto some Inters. Who was that? Was that Benji? Benji dialing in this week, front row again. Rels has gone round for another lap. He's going for another hot lap. He's not going to improve. Can Harry Hale No, he's going for another hot lap as well. Maigel's on an out lap. So we'll keep an interested eye on him. We'll keep an interested eye on Lennon. No, he's not been improving, so is he setting himself up for another lap as well? He is. So 1 or 2 drivers there, first lap. By the time they've done another 2, they've burnt off plenty of fuel. As we're keeping on Josh, who's found almost 2 seconds as well. He'll be looking to get himself on the front row alongside Wesker with this time. Here's provisional pole. 56.5, flying. 3/10 ahead of Wesker now. Kessler's down, so he's going for another hot lap. Project Tyres on an out lap. Terry's is on a hot lap. So it'll be interesting to see then. Wesker, who's down, he's not improving at all, so I suspect he'll be diving in the pits to put some fresh tyres on. No, he's going for another lap then, Wesker here. Guna's come across the line. It looks like he's definitely improved here by a big time. P6, 58.9. We've got a Visa car behind him. Doesn't look like it's improving. It looks like they're potentially going for a hot lap. Benji going again. We go again. Alpine Abridi in the pits. He's definitely got to go on some Minters here. He's losing some plenty of time. Rels is flying. This could put Rels on provisional pole. It looks tight. P3, 57.5, yeah. Almost got my words mixed up as Katamis. Provisional pole, 55.8. These times are dropping. As we see Maigel. Why do we cry, Maigel? P7, 58.3. Great time for the Ferrari driver. As is that Lennon next. Lennon, front row alongside Katamis, 56.3. Still 8/10 behind the Haas. We've got the Red Bull as he starts his flying lap. Danny here. Josh in the pits now. We've got Red Bull Kessler. He's just coming through the bus stop. Has improved by 1.5 seconds. Now this lap could be... It's whoever's going to go last, I think. P5. Still not at the top of the Challenger Championship, but 57 flat for the Red Bull. Project Ty, as he's coming round, definitely improved. Where will he improve to? Improved to P4 for the Alpine. Wow. As Terry's in the new livery. Wesker pole, 54.8. He's found a second on top of Katamis. These times are absolutely dripping. Dunsterino, P10. What can Kiza Giza do? Up to P8 behind Terry Reds, 57.3. And it's so tight. Benji's into the pits now. We've got Benedict onto the front row, 55.8. Still a whole second behind Wesker. As we jump back on Elsie Jersey in the pit. So we've got just under 4 minutes left where I reckon everyone will be probably going in and getting some fresh tyres on. Arsenal 3-0. Now how the championship stand. There is a 6-car battle for Div 2 and the professional championship, including Wesker, Katamis, Lennon, Terry's, Kiza and Benedict. There's 73 points between those 6 in Div 2 and 47 points between those in professional. Wesker's leading the way in both, but he has to stay ahead, otherwise it all goes down to the wire. It will do anyway. I don't think it can be won unless there's a massive casualty. In the Challenger Championship, it's mathematically between Chespo, Josh and Kessler's got an outside chance. But I'd have to safely say Chespo and Josh, it's between them. Unless something major happens. At the moment, Chespo all the way down in 13th. Needs to put a big lap in. Set the fastest middle sector here. Once upon a time had himself on pole position. See an Alpine cross the line of Briddy. P17 for the Frenchman. Keeze's coming next across the line. Driving into the pits. I don't know if he's got enough time to do a lap here. I think he's completely messed up his qualifying. And that's it for Keese. He's retired. He has messed up his qualifying. Chespo's up to the front row alongside his teammate. We've seen this before this season. Outlook for Josh then. Oh, it's going to be tight for those still in the pits. The light, Lennon's just coming out now. He's going to be tight to the line. It's not a normal lap, it's wet. Big John on the grasses. Danny has invalidated. I think 1 or 2 here are not going to cross the line. Wesker's retired. He's 4 tenths ahead of his teammate. His pole position could be up for grabs here. Benedict's also retired, so some big boys retiring early. I think they've completely messed up their qualifying here. Let's jump on Terry's. He's got an Aston Martin ahead of him. As he started through sector 3. May have enough time here to do another lap. That Aston Martin needs to get out of the way. I think that's Rels. Give him a slight slipstream. Terry's needs a big lap here. This is a chance for pole. A big chance for pole here. It's going to be tight to the line for the Williams. Across the line goes P5. I'm sure there's more in his bank. Is that Briddy next? Briddy stays P17. Just can't find the extra time. Everyone's just starting some laps. Harry Hale's coming round. There's 18 seconds left to go. Now I'd have to say... Oh, this is going to be tight here for Lennon. Crosses the line with 4 seconds to go. And Project Ty and Kessler have missed the line. Josh, provisional pole, 54-4. Storming lap here. What can Danny do? It's not Danny. It's not Danny. Chespo will start P3, the highest. Danny will be next across the line. He's found 4 seconds, which will get him into the 158, so we'll get him up around P13, but I'm sure there's some extra time for these final couple of corners. Could this be Josh's first official Div 2 pole? 54-4. 4 tenths ahead of Wesker. P10 ahead for Danny, ahead of his teammate. Great lap from the reserve driver, filling in for the band Charlie. He's in my only bands. He's a seasoned subscriber. Guna reserving for Sygate. He's found almost 4 seconds here. This could be a massive lap from Guna. Get him near the top. P2, front row for Guna. And you'd have to say Wesker's completely messed up his qualifying. As Terry's going across the line again. Found plenty of time. Can Terry's get himself on pole? P5 for Terry's. Jumped by Rels just behind him. He'll be chuffed with that. Brady gets himself to P5. Right at the crunch for the Alpine. Magel, currently P17. Not E17. P5 for Magel. Cracking lap. Big John. Big John's invalidated. Ah, oh, Big John. Katames. Pole for Katames. 54-1. I'd have to say it's all down to Lennon now and Harry Hale. Can Lennon get himself on pole? He does. 54-1-30. Whoa! 300ths ahead of Katames. Harry Hale will start P18. Justorino, is he the last to cross the line? No, he's not going to improve. Lennon gets pole right at the death, and I did say it'll be the last person to cross the line will capitalise. Katames thought it was his. But Lennon, right at the death. 1:54.1 will take pole in Spa. Josh is screaming, no! But takes pole in the Challenger Championship. But a cracking qualifying there from the Haas boys. And they are on the charge for the Constructors' Championship. They're 113 points behind the Sauber boys. But if they finish ahead of them, puts them right in the mix with 1 lap to go. Adamako taking the blame, trying to help Wesker with qualifying. Says his maths let him down. So qualifying strategy in play here, and Lennon takes pole, 54.1, 300ths ahead of Katamis, who joins him on the front row. Josh P3 and Gunnar joins him on the row 2. Great qualifying for him. Wesker, Chespo, Magel, Briddy, Rells and Terry's round off the top 10. Benedict, poor qualifying by him for his standard. P11, Project Time joins him on row 6. Justarino on debut, 13th. Danny, 14th, season debut. Kessler, 15th, 16th for Kieser. Benji, 17th, 18th for Harry. John 9th, and Benja, of course, with a qualifying ban at the back. Fine margins at the top, like Callum says. And it's a dry start to the race, which makes this absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to do my Gary Barlow. It's absolutely fantastic. Benji's back in with us. Went away for some reason. I think he's got a slight connection issue. We saw that in the Div 1 race. Oh, now just have a couple of moments while everyone gets composure. Callum's asking if anyone's compromised their setup to qualify higher. Who knows? If they have good ERS management, track position is crucial. Oh, someone's readied up for the race. Someone's getting an absolute smack, I tell you. Dickheads. Someone's getting an absolute smacking. Josh is saying it wasn't him. It wasn't me. Hopefully this hasn't compromised anyone's race strategy. And majority drivers start on the mediums then. We did see a mix in the Div 1 race, but Rells, Kieser and Harry all opting to go on the alternate strategy. It did work out well for Callum, who won the Div 1 race. Ted Head cheering on Rells. Lennon's not happy, he wasn't ready. Big penalty coming for those who did. But Lennon will start on pole. Hopefully he's sorted out his setup and his fuel load as they come through at the end of the start of Sector 2. This is one of 7 tracks to be part of the maiden F1 season in 1950. And has a great mix of the long straights and challenging fast corners. As mentioned, because of the rain in qualifying. Size of this circuit can mean temperamental track conditions. Lennon leads us round the 7-kilometre clockwise circuit. 19 corners, 9 to the right, 10 to the left with 2 DRS zones. There's a 63% chance of a safety car, and it's a 0% chance of a VSC. We shall see. And Div 2 is known for its safety cars. We didn't see any in the Div 1 race, thankfully, after a couple of contentious manoeuvres. One-stop strategy is possible, highly possible. You can lose out with a 18-second pit stop. Lennon will lead us away as he comes around the bus stop with Katamis joining him on the front row. Very difficult one to overtake if he gets ahead of you. Josh and Gunnar on row 2. Wesker and Chesbold drivers on the same team side by side, both fighting for championships in their respective divisions. Magel P7, great qualifying there for the Ferrari. Would be well happy with that, I'm sure. Briddy P8. Raoul's P9 and Terry's round off the top 10. I think he'll be a bit miffed with his quali. 11th for Benedict, the same. Project Tie P12 alongside the RB. Dustarino on debut, P13. Danny on season debut, P14, ahead of his teammate Kessler. P15, Kizgiz will be a bit upset with his quali, with Benji behind him. Harry Hale, P18, John P19, and Benja will be watching from the rear. Everyone, strap your seatbelts on. We're going to be in for a cracker. Race 12 of a brilliant season. Fastest lap for Benji, how's that? Well, we got 5 lights. It's lights on and away we go. And Katamis just side by side here with Lennon. Lennon taking the inside route, blocks off the exit of Katamis and keeps ahead of the race. Good start from Wesker, up 2 places already. Big loss of start here for Rels. Goes down to P10. Tedhead won't be ready as everyone makes it through. It looks slightly bugged, maybe. This looks okay on my view as we got a Red Bull of Kessler trying to go side by through Eau Rouge. Yeah, probably logged if he's got, as Katamis has actually got himself ahead of Wesker now. Lennon's lost a couple of positions down the Kemmel, and that's Benji out. And we've got a VSC. Benji through a Rouge. I think that was probably a bit of disconnection. Lobby issues for Benji has caused this VSC. We saw it through the Div 1 race, and like Callum said, if he popped up with the fastest lap, is definitely an issue there with Benji. But VSC 0% chance has gone from 0 to 100, just like lap 1 here, and just like Katamis has got himself into the lead of the race, and of course Wesker needed that. The championship leader for Div 2 and the professional championship has made big strides, up 3 places already. So we wait for the VSC to end. No one get a silly drive through, otherwise you'll get an absolute spanking. I'll get the paddle out. It's bigger than a tennis table tennis. Jostling here between Josh and Chessbowl. Both of them sticking to each other as much as possible. And VSC has ended and we're away. As Benedict capitalising on Geezer who's caught napping. Locking wheels and both going off track. Jack Downs was cheering on Terry's as Danny ahead of Keezer. Chessbowl losing out here to Magel, who's got a bad exit coming out of turn 1. Losing out down to P8 now. Good strides here from Terry's, who's got a cheerleader in the race. We've got a 3-car battle here now. Potentially 4. We've got 3 abreast. Going down the Kemmel. They're all squeezed. They're all off track. Wesker goes and spins. Oh, there's going to be big screaming in the voice chat, I'm sure. That was contentious. It's hard to say who was at fault. It could have been a racing incident, but they were all squeezed, all went off track. And Katamis still retains the lead of the race with Lennon by him. Briddy getting past Magel, loses out to Dustarino, coming through No Name. Dustarino slotting behind Magel, behind Briddy, sorry. As they go through Pouillon. Wesker trying to make an early move on Project Tie, but there's no space through this middle sector. Doesn't look like there's any damage there for the Sauber. So he's just getting head down, plenty of way to go in lap 2 of 22. And it's such a bunched grid order here. Just Kessler, who's had to pit and go on some fresh, hard tyres, side by side through Blanchimont. Not an easy person to overtake here. Project Tie plants his car perfectly on the defence from the championship leader. Depends if it was Wesker's fault. I couldn't really tell. Benji. It'll probably have to be something reviewed after the race if somebody reports it. Newcastle 2-1 away to Bayer Leverkusen as Benedict And Giza exchange positions coming out of turn 1 here. Rel's making meter Big John. Gets himself ahead just before Eau Rouge. And this is where we're going to see some moves happening as Lennon gets himself back into the leader race ahead of Katamise with the aid of DRS. It's a big train all the way down to Project Ty, as Wesker has managed to get past the Alpine and now has to look in his mirrors with Benja all the way up to P12 from the back of the grid. Wesker on the inside through Brussels on the other Ferrari of Magel. And great overtake from the Sauber, who's got some grinds to gear and closes gap now on Dusserino. Giza getting past Danny, who goes wide at Pouillon. Probably gets himself a track limits, but avoids Giza, whose tyres should surely be up to temperature now. The lead hard tyre runner down in P14. Katamise is known for having lower wings on this track. If Lennon can get away through the middle sector, which he hasn't managed to do, Katamise will be a big threat going down the Kemmel. But Josh has had a brilliant start to the race, sticking with the higher division boys. Benja making a move to a project at the bus stop, getting himself behind his teammate out to P11. Both have DRS behind, as Benedict looking for a place to make an overtake. And showing that he is here for business. The Visa Carb losing out a couple of positions from his start. And now we're going to see some overtakes. Lennon's got a bit of a gap to the Haas, as we see behind Chesbowl and Terry's. Terry's just staying ahead, almost hitting the back of Josh, trying to defend his position from the Sauber driver. Side by side through the Coombs. Project Ty is just ahead, but there's a brilliant overtake. Still side by side, going downhill, down to Brussels. And Project Ty still defending. Bennett has the inside of the corner, but that still should be Project Ty's. Jack says Terry's is cooking. He's cooking P4. As we see Josh and Katamise exchange position, going through fifth path. Katamise just a bit of wheel banging, and Katamise takes back P2. But as they jostle for position, gives Lennon a little bit more breathing space for the lead of this race. Not a place you really want to make an overtake, just slot behind, follow through, unless you are vastly carrying a lot more speed. Briddy on the gearbox here, Raguna, who's found himself down in P6 now. Exchange positions for the Ferrari boys. I think Magel's let Benja loose, as Magel's got loads less speed than his Ferrari counterpart. Brady getting past Guna at the bus stop. Terry's up to P4. He's cooking now, ahead of Josh with DRS. Terry's retains the inside line, needs a good exit to stay in DRS with the front runners. Magel and Project Challenger rivals battling through turn 1, but the Ferrari sorts itself ahead as they rise up Eau Rouge, 35 metre elevation over the crest to come out Radion and to the Camel Straight. And you can see Benedict here. Brady retaking against Guna on the inside. Guna trying to defend, but just a bit of wheel banging. It's a very tight corner, and Guna's lost out a couple of positions. Wesker back up to P7 now. Project with the advantage. Wesker and Brady through no name. Wesker back up to P6. Lennon's still staying ahead of Katamise, struggling to make that overtake yet. Very tight battle here. No one managed to break 3 yet from the front 5, and I'd potentially say that Wesker will close in as well, which he is, which will extend that train all the way down to a brilliant debut here from Dunsterino so far. Dumpster diver. Get out that bin. Stop eating out of the bin, Martin. Come to the end of lap 5. Is that Harry Hale and Danny exchanging position? Brilliant overtake from Harry Hale. Going through Blanchimont. Danny's not giving it up though. As they approach the bus stop, he slots behind Harry Hale. He will have DRS at the start of this lap. So maybe a short-lived position here for Harry, but brilliant overtake. As Benedict and Magel exchange position again. Magel not giving this up. Benedict has to slot behind to as they go through a rouge. That dirty air is going to be tricky. As we jump up, Chespo getting ahead of his counterpart. And Ben does make that move. Callum, you know the reference. If you know, you know. Why is there a crow in the bin? Katami's now taking the lead of the race once again with the aid of DRS. Now it's all down to who preserves their tyres the longest. We saw that the overcut, to be fair, is probably equal. I think the overcut doesn't really work on this track. Track position is key, and if you can make your tyres last that lap longer, that'll probably put you in good stead. Gunnar at the lead of this train at P8, battling with Dunsterino. Dumpster diver. He's now been dubbed. If you've got a nickname, it's a blessing. Kizagiza. All over the back here of Benedict. Hasn't managed to get past Project Ty. He's probably had a moment somewhere. Kizagiza's tyres will be probably at their premium now. And should try and make that smooth. Although he's just dropped a bit back behind the carb. That'll be a tricky overtake down the Kemmel as we jump back up to the front 3 then. Katamise has got a bit of advantage. But Aston Martin taking a quick look at the Coombs, not quite close enough yet to make the move as Wesker ahead of Josh now, P5. And roles reverse between Chespo and Josh. Chespo now leading the way in the Challenger Championship. He's again, like I said, not close enough to make a move on Benedict, but they have closed in on the Alpine of Project Ty. Got a reserve driver battle. Going through Pouillon. Dunsterino, good debut so far. Reserving from Krills. No show Krills. Next season it's not your seat. It's not your seat, fool. You're gonna be reserved. Benedict trying to make an early move through Blanchimont on Project Ty. This could be second time lucky here for the carb. Difficult corner to make that move. Who's gone in the pits? It's Terry's and Wesker making an early pit stop after lap 8. And as we see, Project Ty dive in as well. Gunnar's gone in too, so some early pit stops here. As Katamise is not trying to do the DRS game. I'm going to say that he is. One of these are going to be saying so as well, as Lennox take the lead of the race. Katamise will try and defend, but he does this quite often and will take the lead of the race again. Naughty boy. And Chespo now up to P2. Lennon out losing out 2 positions. He will not, I say he will not be happy. Briddy up to P4 now. Brilliant drive here for the Alpine. As we see, Challenger drivers exchange positions of Rouse and Magel. Lennon and Chespo. Lennon making a position round Brussels. As they're just in position down in P15. Going through in the Coombs. Some carbon fibre flying off. As we see John and Harry Hale and Gunnar all probably colliding, all trying to let each other past. Maybe too respectful from these guys. Maybe assess the situation first before just stopping. So Project Ty and Guna both stopping behind Harry Hale. It's for position, you don't have to give it up here. And they have to get past you, and you have to try and make it work for them. Otherwise you'll never advance up the grid yourselves. And you need to have these battles to learn. So Harry defending here now from Project Ty on those fresher tyres all over his gearbox. As we see Lennon in the pit now, followed by Briddy and Josh, all following suit from the cars ahead. Project Ty not able to get, so great defence here from Harry Hale as they close in on Danny. Project Ty not making the moves yet as John, we got track limits for John. You're a very naughty boy. All go through and may jump 1 or 2 on the pits here. So it's all going to be congested as got drivers ahead just come out of the pits. Benja ahead of Benedict. Danny's gone into the pits onto the hards. Wesker getting past Magel on those fresher tyres. And that will be, there's a crucial move from Magel as Terry's will be stuck behind Magel going downhill. He'll need to try and get past him as quick as possible. If he can do that through Brussels and No Name, he won't want to be stuck behind him through Pouillon. Terry's needs to cook. Let him cook! But no, he's stuck. Magel on the defence. And Wesker's broken free and ahead of Rels through Piff Paff. A little wheel banging. Rels trying to defend. But whilst Wesker goes on the outside, left plenty of room by the Aston Martin, who goes for the switchback. That's a brilliant drive from both. And Wells Wesker out to P5. And you'd have to say he's in the net lead of this race. Front 4 still yet to pit. I'd probably say this front 3 will have to as Chespo, Casimir goes in the pit and Chespo takes the lead of the race. Don Sereno N2. As Wesker comes round the bus stop. Should get himself up into P3 now. Magel in the pits too. So all this order will get mixed up again. Catanese comes out the pit just ahead of Lennon then. Just out of DRS range as well. But behind Wesker, who's pit 2 laps earlier. And has probably got about just under 3 second gap then. Lennon's within DRS range of Catamese. Benedict and Benja making a move, double move on Dunsterino, whose tyres are yet to warm up. And finds himself in P12, but on those fresher tyres that will feel a blessing after pitting with those used mediums. John, Harry Hale, Chespo, Keyser and Rels, all drivers still yet to pit. You'd have to say Chespo needs to pit sometime soon now. The longer he's on these tyres, the more time he's going to lose to those behind him on fresher tyres. Although they're all stuck here behind the Aston Martin of Rels. He'll probably go another couple of laps. Chespo does pit, as predicted. 2-2 Leverkusen, Newcastle. And Geezer, lead of the race at Spa. Wesker flying. Gets himself up to P2. This potential battle for the podium position. Chespo just comes out in this cluster of cars in between Terry's and Josh, crucially ahead of Josh, his championship rival. You'd have to say perfect pit stop for his championship challenge, but he's stuck in a gaggle of cars now as Catamese all over the back of Rels on the outside of Lacombe's. Brilliant overtake from the Haas. And up to P3 as we drop down to Dunsterino and Project Ty through Lacombe's. Very tricky corner to make an overtake, and Dunsterino's car slightly goes off track and hits Project Ty. I think it's just a racing incident from what I could see. As Terry's and Rels. Terry's needs to get past Rels, round Pouillon. Oh, it's a 3-car through Piff Paff. Terry's got the inside though. Is that an outside overtake from Chespo? Oh, what an overtake from Chespo. Woo! Outside of turn 12. While Terry's and Rels were battling, capitalising, found himself now ahead of this train. Katames and Lennon have broken away as Brady and Rels going through. You'd probably see Rels, you'll see him in the pits very, very soon. Rels not giving it up, but I don't think he can fight back. Katames is absolutely flying. Just slightly out of DRS for the Aston Martin. As Benedict does get past Rels now with DRS down to turn 1. And right up on the gearbox of Brady. Both on the same pit strategy. They go side by side through Eau Rouge, and Benedict got a massive exit out of turn 1. Gained himself a position already. But needs to look in his rear view for the Frenchman behind. As we see ahead, Terry's getting past Chespo up to P5 for the Williams. And Benedict just staying ahead of Project Brady, who just couldn't get past. Ran out of track space. And the position should be solidified now. P8 currently for Benedict, who's almost within a second of this battle for P5. Lennon needs to close on the Haas Academies. Who's just going to be try and focus on his own race. Kiza still yet to pit, but has led 2 or 3 laps of this race. Great performance from the McLaren driver, and she come out in a fantastic position on some fresh mediums. On besides who pits now. He's going again. He's loving this lead thing. He's getting a nosebleed. He'll be in the next episode of Stranger Things. Spoiler alert, sorry. Should have spoiler alert. Sorry. Lennon still not able to close that gap on the feline in front. Chespo all over the back as Benedict's got past Josh. Crucial move there from the carb. He's in for an outside chance for this championship. As we go round Eau Rouge for the unlucky 13th time. Who's going to lose out? Chespo's going to try and jostle for position for Terry's. Terry's defending the outside of turn Viola Coombs. And defends well. Chespo had a look on the inside, but nowhere to go. Josh not able to make a move as Project Ty right on the gearbox of Benja. But has found it very difficult from the Ferrari. Benedict and Josh now keeping Terry Reds honest in that sexy Williams livery. Maybe Lennon's doing some tyre preservation here. Just slightly drop back. Jack says Katz doesn't have the speed of Wesker despite tyre advantage. No, I agree. Wesker's absolutely flying. He's now going to look closing in on Kiza, who's bound to be in the pits. He is. So Wesker retains the lead of the race. And you just have to safely say this is his race to lose and to extend his lead at the top going into the final race of the season. That promotes Katames and Lennon up to P2 and P3 respectively. Lennon's actually dropping back here from Katames and potentially into the clutches here of this battle for P4. Giza comes out, oh, just behind Benja in P10. He'll have DRS on some fresh mediums, but he's got a big gap to close up from that battle ahead. Rouse and Harry in the pits. Harry on the both getting off their hard tyres on the same track as Kiza. Kiza does make that move up to P9. Benja very, very close to being overtake much more than once. That's Project Tyres Gunnar for swatting him off like a fly. Pick his wings off. Won't be able to fly anymore. As we see Danny making a great move over on Rels. He with those fresh tyres, you can't stop DRS. Up to P15 for the Red Bull reserve. Got 19 drivers out of the 20 still running. Lap 14 out of 22. Only not running because of poor connection. And then now almost 2 seconds behind Katames, who's managing himself very, very well. Terry Red's closing in under 2 seconds now to Lennon. Lennon's struggling at this phase of the race, and I'd like to hope that he's doing some tyre preservation, otherwise he's in big trouble, because it's not just Terry's behind. Project Ty catching Gunnar out of the bus stop, getting himself up to P11. The brilliant overtake. Gunnar not giving it up though. Side by side through turn 1. And Project Ty staying ahead as they go downhill towards Eau Rouge. Named after the water sources. Oh, I thought they were going to go side by side. Benedict up to P5 ahead of Chesbol. And now finds himself the challenger behind Terry Reds. Gunnar now managed to make that move ahead of Project Ty back to P11 for the Haas reserve. I think this is the part of the track where Terry's is a bit more dominant. Knows that the cars behind won't make an overtake, so looks to close that gap on the Aston of Lennon. The pole sitter nailed it in the wet. Mancetta have beat Real Madrid. Interesting. Or not. Don't like Mancetta. Lennon just finding it difficult. Doesn't have damage, so it is just a skill issue. Hashtag skill issue. He's now 1.7 and pushing. Pulled himself out of Benedict's grasp. Benedict's struggling. I think Benedict's had a moment somewhere because Chesbol is plugging his potato in his exhaust. And I'm saying Chesbol's got a potato for a penis. Fastest lap here for Giza, 45 flat. And Project and Gunnar. Project making the move again at the bus stop. Gunnar's not finding that corner that easy. Giza be all behind the Frenchman, looking to gain another position up to P8 now for the McLaren as Chesbol retakes P5. And he'll be looking to close up on this battle for P4 with Terry's. Here we go again. Oh, Gunnar goes deep. Off track and Project Ty will go through. Missed his braking point. And the Alpine capitalises. 1.3 seconds now, McLaren. Absolutely flying here, Giza. Working his way up the order as Benedict taking a look at Josh. But Josh defends well. We've got a yellow flag. It's a Haas. Looks like it's Gunnar at no name. And he goes again. Hasn't got any damage. Did he just go deep in at the gravel? He did. I don't think he was close to Project Ty because he was behind him. So another mistake there from Gunnar. Maybe missed his braking point again. Terry now 1.6 seconds. He's got 6 laps to go. 7 laps to go, including this one, to try and close the gap here on Lennon and gain that potential podium position. Wesker just well ahead, comfortable. Involved in 1 or 2 incidents, so hopefully his race win, or his potential race win, isn't jeopardised by Stewart's report. So jump behind on, you see Benedict look at the speed on Benedict. Absolutely screams back Josh. Gets himself up to P6 now. And Josh has got Keyser right behind him as well. Had one eyes on Benedict, and Keyser's like, hello. Oh, Josh gets himself a track limit, so it's gone bad to worse in the space of a couple of corners for the Mercedes. Josh is struggling. It's not old tyres either. Going through no name, and Keyser and Briddy go through. And this will make his championship fight go into next week and make it even harder. Rolls just before Brussels on the Ferrari Megal. Up to P14 him, proving that I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh, for Christ, I didn't mean that one. The medium tyre is proving quite strong at this phase of the race. Terry's now almost under a second on Lennon. He did pit a lap earlier. Can he get himself within DRS? Lennon got a better exit out of turn 1. Terry's is managing his exit out of turn 1 well to give himself that decent gap with the cars behind. No, Chespo now half a second. Chespo is flying. Has he saved himself up? Some ERS makes that overtake on Terry. He's up to P4 now. Oh, Lennon says he's got damage. Ah, sorry to hear, Lennon. You're doing well then if you do have damage. Hopefully you can stay just ahead. Yeah, don't text and drive. 3 points to Lennon. His licence is suspended. And as with Chespo and Terry slightly battling, just dropped a bit back from Lennon. Terry's just slightly struggling now. Are we getting to a phase? He's still got to do another 5 laps, including 4.5 laps. The Keyser burn his tyres too much. He's not pulling the times to stick with the drivers ahead as he was. He'll be hoping for them to battle ahead. Chespo, though, has caught up to Lennon and up to that P3 position, bringing Terry's and Benedict with him. Chenin. If Chespo and Lennon had a baby, it'll be called Chenin, and I'll have a fucking massive chin. Chespo, good exit out of Rouge and Radion, but not quite close enough to make that move, I think. Good defence from Lennon. Terry's is struggling though as Benedict takes a quick look at Lacoombs. Both on a similar strategy, so I suspect they'll drop from Chespo and Lennon. Slight wing damage here from Lennon. Has brought Chespo right up to his gearbox. So he fly through the double left-hander of Pouon. Projectile. Gunnar adds. You silly boy. Penalty to him. Projectile Dustarino. Tie. Just staying a bit of back for now. Probably just saving his tyres a bit to the end. He's already done 11 laps. Still got to do another 3. They will be tricky to get to the end on. Everyone else just a bit apart now. Rels on the back of Gunnar. Gunnar's tyres again. Should be struggling while Rels is flying on these mediums. Let's jump back on these as they approach the rise up to Eau Rouge. Will we see anyone be able to make a move this time? Terry's is closer to Chesbol. Is Chesbol close enough to Lennon? I don't think he is. It might be a last-ditch move. Again, not close enough. This cluster of 4 battling for this final podium position. Has dropped Kizagiza. Those medium tyres were peak for like 5 laps. And now just settles, unless he's just saving himself for a 2-lap sprint maybe. Maybe. You're going to be the one that overtakes me. As Rels does make that move on Gunnar. With the DRS at the start of Coombs. Oh, Gunnar in the gravel. It's like a children's book. Gunnar in the gravel. He gets a sorely bum. He's got so much gravel up there, he fills it with his thumb. Track limits for Harry. Track limits will play a part in the track position. Josh currently running P9. You'd like to think he's quite safe for Benji behind him. Wesker started the penultimate lap now. It's going to go down to the wire. Who can make the final crucial move? And you'd have to say Chesbol hasn't been this close. As we go downhill to the rise of Eau Rouge, there should be an overtake here for Chesbol. Is Lennon safe from Terry Reds as well, which I think Terry's too far behind. Lennon tries to defend as much as he can, but there's nothing he can do. And the championship challenger, oh my God, gets himself up to the podium, P3. Timed that well, Chesbol. He just needs to try and defend it now from Lennon. The drivers chasing Chesbol will have older tyres. This is for these 3 all in for a chance for that championship with the likes of Wesker and Katamies. And it'll mix it all up the order going into the final race. Harris has already slightly come adrift. He's struggling now. 13 laps already done. Lennon staying with Chesbol. This is all or nothing. It's an Amazon series for Lennon. He's got to stay with Chesbol as much as possible. Get a good exit out the final corner. Utilise that DRS up to turn 1. Better exit for Chesbol. He needs to be stuck with him with under half a second, I'd have to say. Oh, it's going to be tight as they go downhill. Climb up Eau Rouge. Lennon's right on the gearbox here of Chesbol. This has got to be a move. He's so close, brilliantly timed from Lennon. DRS will be open. There's nothing Chesbol can do to defend this as Benedict behind takes Terry's and gains position up to P5. Josh ahead of Briddy. Gets himself up to P8. About to have that penalty as well. He's going to battle to the line. Chesbol have to follow him through all the middle sector. And The only chance he'll probably have is through Bronchimont and the bus stop. Dostorino and Project Tie. Dostorino staying ahead up to P11 with the aid of DRS. It's a 4-car battle here for P3, and at the moment Lennon is there. There's a crucial exit out of Stavlot. It's all or nothing here for Chespo now. Have to score as much ERS as possible to try and close that gap, but I don't think he's got it. And congratulations to Wesker, crosses the line, takes P1. Katamise will come home and takes P2. Final podium position is going to be tight from this cluster of cars, but it looks like it'll be Lennon comes home 3/10 ahead of Chespo, with Benedict and Terry Reds P5 and C6 respectively. Keys Geezer P7 with Brady close behind P8, Josh P9. Benja coming home P10. Whoa, what a run to the line. Wesker, let's fucking go. Dostorino P11 on debut, brilliant driver from him. Project P12. Lennon's not happy with the top two. Rels, his teammate, P13. Gunarads comes home P14. Chespo and Josh promoted up to the professional championship. P15, P16 for Bagel and Danny. Great drive from Danny on his return to Lights Out League Racing. Benja's absolutely thrilled from his P20 to P10. Absolute recognisable drive. Potential contender for driver of the day. John will come, big John, P17. Gets some big points for the Williams. With Kessler coming home. P18 limping over the line. And into the wall. P18, and then Harry Hale, final finisher, will come home P19. And there we have it, boys and girls. This is our order. After a wet quali where Lennon took pole, it took shape, and after a minor incident with Wesker, absolutely stormed back and takes the win in Spa. Fantastic drive from him. Keezer Geezer, fastest lap, and driver of the day given to the game is Keezer Geezer, getting most overtakes. And this is your final grid. Wesker coming home P1. Brilliant drive from him. Katami finishing where he started, P2. A good 6 seconds adrift from the race winner. Lennon taking the final podium position. Fighting off Chespo, who takes P1 in the Challenger Championship. Benedict comes home P5. Terry Reds P6 up from P11, P10th. P7 from P16. Keezer Geezer, absolutely massive drive. And a contender for driver of the day. Briddy P8. P9 for Josh, and 10th for Benja, starting from the rear of the grid. Dunsterini on debut, P11, brilliant drive from him with Project Tie, 12th. Rels, 13th, 14th, Guna, Magel, 15th, 16th for Danny, John, 17th, 18th for Kessler, Harry, 19th, and Benji, the only DNF, mainly due to the lobby issue. I think that what does that do? It takes the battle to the final race. Wesker will lead the championship going into the final race for Div 2 and the professional championship. And Chespo as well will take it into the final race for the Challenger Championship. It's all to play for. Join us next week for the season finale at Australia. And we'll put another shrimp on the barbie. And it's going to be one. Have your Red Bulls ready. Have your neck lube ready. I will. Join me next week, 7:30 for Div 1, 9 PM UK, Div 2. This is Lights Out League Race. My name's Alex. Thank you for joining. Peace out.